Greetings, everyone. How do I know if anybody hears me? Sorry, we ain't getting nowhere. Something's totally wrong. Let me try one thing. I want to add music, see if it helps.
Raise my eyes to the wild blue yonder. They can't believe what I see, and it makes me wonder why it's falling down on me. The sky.
All right, everybody. Something else with here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. I've been having so many problems trying to get this show up. It's attacked by YouTube. Censoring me, blocking me, took shows down. I had to send them my driver's license and everything else to get back up. So I'm going to get into a few things today. One, anybody out there, if you're listening, you get into the chat room, just say you can hear me. I had no sound. I don't know if I have it or not now. Let me shut my music off. All right. Is it any better if you are in the chat room? Let me know if you can hear me. All right. There's so many things going on in the world right now. It's getting horrible every day. What's happening to the planet, and nobody's facing the truth. All right, this is going to be my last show for the year. I'm having major work done tomorrow, so I won't be around. I'll be around, but I won't be able to talk for a couple of days. I'm working on that. So any questions, send them to hawksblood1@aol.com. I will answer them online. I will be talking about a couple of things today that are important. One, starting next year, we're going to bring much more people that have experiences on. People that I trust and people that Tina trusts. So that should be a good thing. I have a couple of major guests. Hopefully they will be coming on in the beginning of the year. Thank you for that, Rich. All right. So we're going to start with, okay, where is everybody putting their attention? Well, if you go into Twitter, which is now X, everything's about Trump. All you hear is Trump, 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 Trump. I mean, one state said they're not going to let Trump run for president. Well, we'll see what happens with that. But, if he gets in, we're in serious trouble. People, I don't like to talk about politics. I talk about things that are important, like what's happening to the planet right now, people. Do you understand the sun's going through the worst phase ever in its history? It'll affect us for the next 2 years. Scientists actually admitted it about 2 weeks ago. It wasn't supposed to go into this phase for another 10 years, but it already started. I can tell you this, and this nobody knows probably that would even talk about it or knows about it, that the sun was bombarded by 3 blue bombs that the U.S. government shot at it. And that was about a couple of years ago. Don't ask me why. We couldn't find out the truth or the rest of the reasoning why they did it. All right. On top of that, the biggest solar flare happened just last week, and it's exposed giant radiation around the planet. Well, when they talk about aurora borealis, do you have a clue what it is? Oh, it's so beautiful. It's radiation hitting the atmosphere. All right. So 90% of the time when you see something really beautiful on this planet, something's changing, something's affecting something else. But why? All right. The sun's going through this, whether we cause it or not. Now, people, I know you have a hard time believing about aliens, what's good, what's right, what's real, but there's so many different kinds. The United States is dealing with 27, and so is Russia. None of them are the most dangerous, evil ones out there. The other ones aren't doing much at all. All right. If you don't want to know or believe it, that's your problem. I can only give you the truth. If you don't want the truth, you don't need to stay here. But there's a show on internet. It's called Alien Interrogation. Watch it. It's real. It was a real interrogation done to an alien, a gray. What he says on there is pretty important some levels, but there was a lot of lies added. Now, aliens, just because they're high tech, technology doesn't make a person spiritual, and it doesn't make a person better in any way. I mean, somebody riding a horse versus somebody driving around in a car. Does driving around in a car make them better than the person riding a horse? Of course not. We only make men, in general, only make toys better. That's all they care about. Life is about making a better toy than what they have. Musk is one of the biggest examples of it. Look at what he's doing, and he thinks he's helping the world. He's putting all these ships up to Mars. He thinks he's going to move up there, and he doesn't know what he's even going to find. He has no clue. All these people in power have such limited and little knowledge of the truth. Not the truth of abortion rights and things like that, but the things that's happening to the planet, why it's happening to the planet, what we're doing to the planet, who's doing what to the planet, and what aliens have to do with it all. All right, they have zero knowledge. They still want to bring out the idea that a Tic Tac's a UFO, and they even changed the name from a Tic Tac, a UFO. It doesn't mean what they want it to mean. They don't want it to mean something specific. They want it to mean something in general, so they're changing it. People, if you want the truth, that's all I can give you. I spent my whole life in the UFO world and on a spiritual quest. That's my whole life. I'm 71 now. My birthday was last week. All right. During that time frame, I was next to an alien. I was next to a UFO. I was next to a Bigfoot. So if you ask me if they're real or not, of course they're real. All right. On top of that, I was doing ghost busting when I was 16. I did exorcisms when I was 24. I was doing hypnosis from the time I was 14 for many years. And I created a word, which I liked, past life regression. It wasn't a word when I came up with it, put it on a business card and distributed it in the United States and New Jersey. I work with my friends only. I wasn't making people pay for it. But I learned a lot. Past life regression, I brought them back as far as they needed to go or wanted to go. And it's good for most people because it can help them see some of the things. But what most hypnotists do not know anything spiritual about it. They have no clue what happens when you hypnotize a person. They don't have a clue. They don't know the truth. Now, they say, if you go to hypnotic schools and things like that, they say you can't hypnotize somebody to do something they don't want. The biggest lie there is. I'm not going to go into the horrible details, but it's a lie. Even when you go to a doctor, a dentist, or somebody that's going to put you to sleep, there's supposed to always be somebody else in that room other than the doctor. Always. All right, for major reasons, and I'm sure you hope you can figure that out. But again, when you go to a hypnotist, if he's a good one, meaning hypnotizing a person, whether he's bad or good inside himself is a different story. But what they can do with you or what they can make you think, you can program a person. The only reason why I'm bringing this up is because in the UFO world, people are saying their experiences. And an experiencer, meaning they had a good experience with aliens. They were taken out of their room, brought up on a ship, and all those kind of things. Everything you hear from an experiencer is a lie. I'll challenge them to their face. Oh, well, they show me other planets and they this, that, and the other thing. Really? How'd you get there? What were you wearing? What were they wearing? What were you breathing? All right. Then again, did you sit down and eat with an alien? What did you eat? All these ridiculous questions that they can't even answer. But the problem is, there's programming. Famous people. Corey Good, one of the people was, oh, I was with aliens and they showed me the past, present, and future. He lied already. Everything he said didn't come true. He said we're going to destroy the planet. That didn't happen. We did this, that. Oh, I saw the future, saw the past. Well, guess what? Nobody, no matter how psychic they are, can even predict 1 minute into the future. 1 minute. Not 10 days, 10 years, 20 years. 1 minute. If you could do that, you can change the world's reality. And nobody can do that. So, you got storytellers now. Caroline Corey claims she can levitate something, a piece of paper, change people's DNA. Well, she thinks she's playing God and thinks she has the right to. People, in the UFO world, it's crashing because the ego of people has changed greatly. When I was lecturing from 96 to 2002 with Sergeant 18, we were probably the top speakers as far as showing UFOs and things like that. And we lectured all over the United States. But in the interim, all the important people in the UFO world have been taken out. I'm not going to go into detail. I was blocked. They took 3 shows of mine down already in the past 2 weeks. They're going through my shows now and taking them out. And they're saying, oh, it's medical reasons, it's this reason. I mentioned something once, and I'm not going to talk about it. But the problem is what's really happening. We have, I'm not going to go into the scientific end right now. I got so many things to talk about. But the sun is producing radioactive energy that's hitting the planet. They said it could take out all the satellites in a year. Guess what would happen? Now, there was a giant earthquake in Iceland, not Iceland, but somewhere, and it's putting out radioactive energy fields out into the country. There's a lot of things happening in the past week. Never mind, the earthquake chart has never been this bad in 100 years. Since 1900, it has never been as bad as it is right now. People, and you don't hear people talking about that, do you? All right. Now, when we talk about aliens, which I'm going to be talking about, all right, they're coming here. They've been here. They've been here for a long time. They don't stay here. The United States worked with aliens for a while, and they had to kill them all. And one of the top ones that actually communicated to all the Greys was EB. It's all real. What do you want to say? These UFO people can't talk about it because they don't know people involved that were really involved with the truth. Sean David Morton is dying. He was put in jail because they didn't like him, because he exposed Area 51, because he took people out there to see a mothership land there every 2 weeks. And that's why they bought all the land around it and closed it off and sealed it up so nobody can get there. All right. So, and that was years ago. So when they say, well, nobody is that, they don't have a clue because UFO people just step into a world of something, pull up a book, read it. Well, I can tell you ships landed here. This happened, that happened. Like they know. And then when they talk about it, like they experience themselves, they have no clue what really went down. Experiences talk like it's a great thing. I'm going to tell you this. There's no good aliens, meaning that can help us in any good way. They never gave us anything good. Now, if you consider Tesla, he worked with an alien race. Was it good or was it bad? Well, people will say, oh, it's good. We got all this stuff. Everything Tesla brought out to the world will destroy it in time. The worst thing that was given to the world, given to the United States, was the ability to time travel. Now, to show you the ignorance in reality, Einstein was not that smart. What, did he go to super brain school and came out super smart? He was stealing stuff from other countries, first off, But he didn't know the truth. He mentioned time travel. He said we can only go one way, but we can go both ways, which we can do right now. So he said a lot of things that were lies, but who gave it to him? In his notes, he did say he worked with aliens. All right? He was given the information from aliens. But they fed him false information. Now, you could go back as far as you want. The Egyptians were given false information at every level. Well, they built the pyramids. The pyramids have nothing to do with anything, especially helping us right now. Ancient Aliens has been dealing with pyramids for 15 years. And what do they say? Well, we think aliens helped build them. Wow, how intelligent is that? And so what? Aliens destroyed every race that came here. And there were a lot of races here before we were. There were 9 races brought here, human kind of entities, beings, if you want to call them that. We're from another world. We're not human, per se. We were brought here. The 9 races that were brought here were in Atlantis. And there was 2 evil alien races attacking us when it ended and destroyed it. All right? Atlantis was the only time planet Earth was in peace, was in harmony, was pure and spiritual. Well, we lost that. After they were destroyed, 5 alien races left. I call them alien, but 5 races left. The different colored races left. Black, yellow, red, and white stayed. Were forced to stay. And they were reprogrammed. That's why I mentioned hypnosis. You can reprogram something with it. Change the scenario of what they think and believe, and you put a suggestion in there, and they'll believe it and accept it. All right? And it works. And I did it. I hypnotized all my friends at 14. I had them all hypnotized whenever I want. I gave each person a word, and whenever I said the word 3 times, they would be back into a hypnotic state. All my friends, I can do it at different times, different places, or all together. And I proved to each one of them that I really could do it. Many of them said, take it off, take the spell off me. And they were afraid to come out of the house even. Because when we were together, somebody said, hey, make them do this. Well, I said, do that, and they would do it. So it could be used badly, very badly. I was only 14. I learned because I was going to become a hypnotist, a school hypnotist, when I was 17. And because Kreskin was the first person I worked with when I was 12. And I thought it's cool. But I realized most schools have sex hypnotists come, high schools and colleges and things like that. And I didn't want to go that way. And I decided I didn't want to make people think they're bunnies or whatever. I wanted to bring the truth out. That's why I went into and created a word, past life regression. Bring them back into other lives and see what they did and what kind of karma they have in this lifetime and why and all that. So that became much more important. At the same time, I became a high priest at 16. All right? I challenged everybody, and I still do. And I have never met a so-called high priest that was not afraid of me. When I met Sergeant 18, which many years later, I was in my 40s, whatever. And it was funny because we were supposed to be doing a TV show. My friend called me up and says, can you want to do it? Come over. And we ended up going to this person's house, Sergeant 18. And he started talking to me. He goes, want to come downstairs to my room? And he was doing magic. He was a high priest in black magic. So when I walked down in his room, he had a pentagram on the floor and everything. So I picked up his staff and stepped inside it. You're going to die. And I said, no, I'm not. And then he screamed, who the hell are you? And I said, who are you? And I told him. We made friends at that day. And we stayed together for almost 7 years doing UFO work, filming creatures, entities, and UFOs every other day. We went up to a place where Tesla was working. He was dead at that time, but when he worked with DuPont, Underground City, that's the first and most important UFO story never told. And I can't even release it. Nobody wants to hear it, believe it, or even talk about it. And they're afraid of it, like they're afraid of truth. Truth hurts people. It's never a happy feeling on planet Earth. You're living in hell. So what could be happy in hell? Oh, I had sex. I jumped off a cliff in a parasailing. I did this. Yeah, really? How long did it last? And what do you have to prove? What makes you feel good about it? What's better? And in your whole life, take all the most important things you have, put it together. How much time is that? Deduct sleeping, smoking, taking a bath, taking a shower, brushing your teeth, eating, sleeping, working. How much time do you have in this brisk state that you think you call yourself happiness? All right. Very little, just so you know. So when you get back to the point, where are you? What are you doing? You're in hell. The reason why it's hell, this is the only place, realm, that soul that's stuck in the body, which what you're in right now, can feel, see, and create pain and suffering. Once you step out of the body, which people don't talk about, and they should, all right, when you're in your astral body, which is only one, the first body, and you don't, hopefully you get out of that one pretty fast too, but in your astral body, nobody can come along, chop your head off, stab you, or do anything to you. Send negative energy at you, and oh, you send energy, but you can't kill a person, can't kill a soul. No human that soul can kill another soul. All right. The Bible is written by men. 90% of everything in it's half a lie. Very little truth. Even what Jesus said was half program, because men didn't understand what he was teaching. That's why I put my first book out. I'm working on my second book. If I live to finish it, you're going to get the ultimate truth of who Jesus was, what he did, and what Mary Magdalene was. The only thing that's important to me, because we all go through a word called reincarnation, meaning you come back again to this planet in another body. Not the same body, another body. And you start all over without any awareness of being here before. Now, over the past, I'd say 10 years, 15 years, few people have been aware of their past life and kind of proved it to other people. That's one lifetime. And you have hundreds. So until you realize how much you did in all these lifetimes and what you learned and what you didn't learn, now I'll tell you this. You don't leave planet Earth, hell, until you attain a spiritual level. And all these people claiming to be spiritual. All right, people. And I'm hardcore, but I'm real and I'm true and I'm honest. And I put my life on the line saying this is the ultimate truth in the name of God. God is. All right. Without awareness of God, nothing matters. Nothing's important. Man's ego is nothing. It's useless. What man does in the lower realms is useless. Building cars, building planes, building rockets, building weapons, having sex, building children, creating children, cloning children. What's that have to do with anything what we would call spiritual? Nobody I met so far can describe what spiritual really means. And it's a real simple sentence. Knowing God. Not the idea I know God because I pray to God. No, knowing what God is. And God is. Everything you don't know what it is. It's everything the opposite of what you think it is. God is not a loving entity. Oh, it loves us all. Does it? When you walk out in the street and a car plows into you and kills your child, God loves you right there? You really can say that? No matter what Christian says that? Really? Oh, well, yeah, well, where's the protection you think you have? Protection's an ego, a part of a man's ego. When man created his idea of God, it was always about making him okay. Well, I can go to heaven if I don't, blah, 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 whatever it is. The Ten Commandments was not even good enough for Moses. He created 63 laws that people had to live by in those time frames. And they're all pathetic. Nobody could live by them. But see, now in the Bible, they make Jesus say that Moses had the truth. Moses did not. Moses was a mass killer. When he came up the mountain, he had 3,000 people killed. When he walked them around in the desert, he had all those families killed until they got to the promised land, which were the children. And what did those children do when they got to the promised land? Killed everybody there. That's spiritual? Now, I'm not going to attack all the religions because they're all lies, but real simple. Muslims believe Gabriel came down and told Muhammad the truth, which is another lie. Angels don't teach. They don't teach on this planet, and they don't teach about this world. Oh, talk to people, don't talk to people, listen to people, keep quiet, do this, don't eat that. That has nothing to do with spiritualism. Jesus said it's not what you put in your body, it's what comes out of it. What's that mean, people? You know, people want to believe great stories. I mean, stories are cool if you like to listen to stories, but don't believe them. I don't know what's going on my camera, my show. I hope it's not being affected. But here's the thing. When Jesus came here, he never, ever said he was God. In the Bible, it makes him say it one place where he says, God and me are one. But even that was twisted. We can be one with God, not meaning, oh, I know God, I know what he wants me to do. Blah, blah. No, nobody knows that. If you did, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be playing games in the world of love and happiness and everything else, in the world that's destroying itself every single day. What we do, not one person in politics is talking about the real problems of global warming. And if Trump gets in, he doesn't even believe in it. Look at what is happening to the world greatly. The earthquake chart has escalated 1,000 times in the past 2 years than it was 100 years ago. The split just happened recently. I think it's 2.5 miles long where the earthquake happened. And it's releasing toxic gas over a country. People, we're in trouble. And why aren't anybody talking about that? Now, Musk is talking about going to Mars, creating ships. He's sending them to Mars. He's going to help save the world. Really? He doesn't even know what's wrong with the planet, to never mind save it. Religion's not going to save the planet. Never did. Religion only creates war. You know why? Every religion has their own God. Not a real God, but they have their own. Go online and see, how can I create a religion? And the first thing it says, create a super God. All right? Where anywhere was God proven to be what it is in this reality? Oh, the burning bush? You go back to some of my shows. I have a burning bush that I shot on it. And the bush wasn't burning, really. All right? People, we get programmed by hearing things over. And Trump's doing that right now. When I was 12, when I worked with Kreskin, learning about hypnosis, he used the word, it's the power of suggestion. And what he said, when you use it over and over, it programs the subconscious mind. And that's how he controlled a country. Now, in hypnosis, it's the same thing. You're reprogramming the subconscious mind. And it's been done over and over. Somebody that killed, I can't say something, they'll freaking knock me out in a second. But people kill people because they're programmed to do it. All right? Now, things that people have very little knowledge of. John Lennon was abducted. One of the few people, or the only person I know in the UFO world that was given something from an alien. Given an artifact. And it was given to somebody else right before he died. A week before he was killed in New York City, he gave it to somebody in New York City. That person keeps it in his pocket every day and won't let anybody touch it or analyze it. All right, John Lennon hated aliens, just so you know. But I can go into a lot of little details that people don't want to know. Why John Lennon was really killed. Not because some sick person wanted to kill him. When Oswald was killed, there was a reason. Who killed Kennedy? There's a reason. Not a sick, perverted, twisted ego reason either. A man on his dying bed said who killed Kennedy. 3 people. And he was involved with it. But people don't want to hear the truth. People don't like the truth. Now, I want to throw everything I can at you as long as I can in the shortest time I can. Putin. Who is Putin? Head of Russia. All right. On Russian TV, 3 months, and this is real, people. I'm not making it up. On Russian TV, he said, Mr. Trump, why Trump? I want you to tell the world what really happened at 9/11. Like Trump knows. But he goes, I want you to tell the world what happened. Then he said, it was being translated to me word for word when it was going on TV. I want you to tell the world what you're doing with aliens. Really, this is what he said on Russian TV. And then he said, well, we are, meaning Russia, are working with 27 alien races. Bob Dean in the UFO world many years ago said the United States is working with 27 alien races. All right. None of them are good people, just so you know. All right. Then he said, 2 of them want to destroy the planet. Putin said that 3 months before Trump was elected. All right. Now, there were wars, people. The UFO world does not talk about it, ever. They don't talk about what really went down any part of the UFO world. They're just trying to prove that a UFO is not of Earth. They're not really talking about what aliens really did or doing or have created for us. Nothing good. Getting back to Mr. Putin. Putin met Trump personally, right? A couple hours in the locked room. The next day, Trump comes out and creates the space army. Why is that? Well, how would Putin know that they're trying to destroy the planet? Because the United States and Russia have been fighting with aliens for a long time. I'll tell you this, people, don't believe it. 3 wars were in space. I actually saw one. All right? But the other thing is, there was 3 major wars on planet Earth in the United States alone. Serious, people. I'm not making this stuff up. I got nothing to gain. I'm not going to be here much longer, and I'm not going to put out lies. I speak under the law of God, truth only. If you listen to all these people from Ancient Aliens and every other show, coast to coast, when Art Bell was taken off, that show turned to garbage. And Mr. I won't even say his name, has a big ego. He goes to the UFO conferences like he knows anything. He doesn't. All these people talking. Never even saw an alien. Never next to a ship. So all they hear is hearsay, or what they read. Junk, false information. And now they're changing the UFO name because it means something. We don't want it to mean something specific. I'm bad with letters and names, so I probably pull it up in a second, but basically it's not good. Okay, I can find it real fast. Let me just see. UB. Because right now it's a UAP. Unidentified anomalous phenomena. Really. Because they won't emit a UFO. They're going to emit information, but it won't relate to an alien driving a UFO. All right. I can go on about that. But I'll tell you this. The United States will release a UFO of theirs in about 9 months. It will be the most deadliest weapon on the planet. All right. A friend of mine died 2 years ago. Fred Bell, not Art Bell. Not his cousin either. But he worked for the government since he was 14. He was a genius. He worked with Billy Myers people as well. And that's a fact. Billy Myers, if you don't know who that is, you don't know nothing about the UFO world. But he screwed himself because he started putting false information out. You put a little bit of false information, it takes away your credibility. He was showing videos of ships over his house, going around in circles and landing, and he showed a picture of an alien. Sadly to say, it was a girl from the Mickey Mouse Club. People, when you try to make things better than what it is, it takes away from what it really is. The truth is the truth. You change it, it's a lie. When it becomes a lie, it has nothing to do with the truth anymore. All these people in the UFO world go on and on and on. Witnesses, I was here, I was that. Even a person like Stephen Greer, he was a nobody. Still is in my world. He's claiming he had a UFO over his house. Okay, really? And then he's claiming a lot of other things. People in the UFO world change their story and it gets better every year. Especially when they're lying. It doesn't change if you're telling the truth. Fire in the Sky, the movie, he's trying to change it because, there's too many false things. He still doesn't know what really happened on the ship. All right? Because, when you're on a ship and you're taken out of your home, wherever you were, and you're stripped and put on a bed, and you're playing with your body, what do you think is going to be good about that? Well, a program stuck in your mind. Oh, we went out to dinner. We went to other planets. We went to Karababon and Xeox, and we met all these alien people, and they were all cool. Really? All right, aliens aren't good. They never were good. They destroyed every race that was here or brought here on this planet. The little people killed the giants. But people, aliens that are coming here now, there's 9 bad ones. The Syrians, the Andromedans, and all that are just great names. The person that brought out Andromedans, I was friends with him. He was staying at my friend's house for a year because the government was chasing him. Government doesn't like people talking about certain things. And he was one of those people. All right. In the interim, they have been telling you all this lies and lies about good aliens. Or they're going to come help us and this, that. They never helped any human race in 100,000 years after they destroyed Atlantis. The native people claim they work with the star beings. The star beings were the Greys. There was 50 million native people. Now there's less than 1 million true native people. Think they got help from aliens? I traveled the United States. I danced all over the United States at the powwows. I met many elders in every state and talked. And star beings helped us. Help you what? Oh, Bigfoot helped you. Help you what? When people say things, help usually means getting something better, not getting worse. Oh, the aliens helped us, and now they just killed every one of us. Really? The truth hurts people, especially here. When you're in this body that's decaying the day you're born, I mean, even Buddha said every second you should be thinking about dying, because you are. You're getting closer to death, not closer to life. But they believe in consciousness, one consciousness, which is it. I can't talk too loud. My partner's a Buddhist. I'm not going to go into it. But oneness with what? Become one with what? A universal energy that sucks? That's destructive, evil, perverted, twisted? That's like saying every rapist, murderer, killer, thief, liar, and all that are in this ball of beautiful energy that I want to become part of? I say to God, which I know there is, if that was true, I would say destroy my body, soul, and completely evaporate it forever. I wouldn't want to be part of it. We're part of it now, but we don't have to stay part of it. Aliens are not better than us in any way. Oh, they got chips. Toys don't make people better. All the people in the world are just making better toys. Look at Musk. Look at these people just making better toys. We didn't have toys when we were little, not good toys. Now every kid has a computer, a go-kart, a racing car, you name it. And like 2025, people can have flying cars. Another ridiculous, stupid idea. What if a drunk gets in a plane that flies? Whose house is he going to crash into? The things we perceive as, better. Nothing's better. The least there is, the better it is. In Atlantis, people, We didn't eat animals. We didn't kill each other, didn't rape each other, didn't abuse each other. You couldn't lie, steal, or cheat. You were telepathy and everything else because you could understand people because they didn't even have to talk. You talk once in a while, but you didn't have to. And when the aliens come, they don't talk to you physically, but they work on your level to talk to you, but you can't work on their level. People, I wish I could have somebody that would really listen. I mean, a few people that are here, I hope you listen. Hope you put it out there somewhere else. I have a few people that do. I almost didn't get the show. I spent an hour trying to get the show up. The last time I had Sean David Morton on, I had the most people following my show, and they screwed my show every which way. I had reverb like I did in the beginning of the show. Then I lost my voice. I had no sound. And then I had to try to get back on, trying to get the picture back up. People, the truth hurts. And when I go into names, people don't want to hear it. The UFO world has no important speakers in it right now. So Joel 18, my co-partner when we were doing UFO work for 6 years, sold out. Claims to be spiritual now and everything else, but he pulled away from the whole UFO world completely. We had more pictures of UFOs than anybody else in the United States. And we showed them. I did a show, and I brought him on as my co-host on Caragassidy's show for 9 months. We showed 5 new ships or 5 new pictures every week. All right? We did something no other show did. We gave away gifts if they could say what we were talking about at a specific thing and what did we mention, things like that. We had a great show. We had 50 to 100 people in the chat room every show we did. The next day we were hit by 1,200 people in the morning. But him and me, we had a fallout over something pathetic. Sean David Morton, because he hated him for some. I'm not going to go into the whole story, but yeah, and it ended our friendship, and now it completely ended our friendship. But Sean's alive. He kind of died. He came out of a coma, and he's hanging in right now. But most people blame him for something that happened that really wasn't his fault at any level. But he was the top in the UFO world as a speaker. And if anybody wants to read important books, there's 2 important books out there. I don't write UFO books, sorry. But Rays of Light, Crystals of Truth, or it might be reversed. My mind's so screwed up right now. I don't have the book on me. But Fred Bell, pull up his books. His book is probably the second most important book you could read in the UFO world. He explains everything that all these people are coming out and saying, and a ship did this, and they did this. He explains everything. Sean David Morton, I'm not going to go into the details unless you read his book. Sands of Time. It became 5 books. He's trying to finish 2 more. But basically, it was working with a time travel based on the Philadelphia experiment. Explained everything that happened, how we united or fought in different levels with Russia and trying in Germany, trying to get knowledge and work with aliens and all that stuff, and why they had to be killed and everything else, why we had wars, all that. It's all real, people. And the government can't release that information. Public people aren't ready for the truth. They want to hear lies. Oh, the aliens are good. Stephen Greer, all aliens are good. They're here to help us. The government's going to create a false attack. The government's going to do this. And then now all you hear is like people, the one UFO speaker from Hawaii. I harassed him and he moved away from Hawaii. And all he talks about is the government has weapons and blah, blah. And of course they do. So is every other country. Putin said they were working with 27 alien races. Why would they be working with alien races? For technology. Technology on weapons. Now, when the United States says that government's poor, we're not. We never will be. They spend $720 billion a year And they say we're what, in a $5 billion deficit? Really? And people believe that. The ship that's coming out, the UFO ship they're releasing, costs $40 billion. One ship. It'll be the most deadliest ship on the planet because it'll have every weapon that nobody else has. Again, aliens brought us weapons. We traded. And what do you think we traded for, people? If an alien's going to give you a weapon, if I was going to give you a block of gold, what would I want back in return? A girlfriend, a marriage, life, children, what? Something important, don't you think? So what do you think the United States traded with aliens? For war technology. Now there's a number that everybody needs to remember. 10,000 in the tuna world. They're only allowed to kill 10,000 dolphins. Why 10,000? In the whale world, they're only allowed to kill 10,000 whales in a year for scientific research. Really? They got a cannon boat that cans the whales, and they got big signs, scientific research. All right? When the government, when Mr. Truman allowed the whole thing to go down, they were allowed to take 10,000 people. On top of that, they were allowed to abduct as many people as they want, but they couldn't remember what happened. I work with people with missing time. I can go into great stories about that are real. I went to court with the phone company, and they said I got hurt on a UFO. The phone company, they had the top lawyer in the United States in the court against me, and I did a show on TV, and they said, well, you said you were abducted on a ship and hurt, because I got hurt, and they were trying to say I got hurt on a ship, and they wanted me to admit that. I said, that's not true. But my lawyer quit, retired, got a new lawyer, said he wanted $10,000 right away. I didn't have it. I had to let go of the whole case. It was going on for 2 years. I moved to California. I had to fly back to Jersey every 6 months. But in the end, in the courtroom, the judge says, you got to stay. I want everybody to leave. And then everybody left the courtroom, and the judge brought me over. Because I was in the car with my wife, and we're driving down this road, and this big ball light came over us, and the car stopped, and he explained the whole thing. And then I showed him pictures of UFOs. He said, let me see what you have. And I showed him a whole bunch of pictures of UFOs. People have the truth. There's people all over that have the truth, but will not come out with it. They don't want to lose a reputation. These UFO people have no reputation. They have a reputation to lose. That's why they won't talk to me. Because all they're giving you is bull. Bull, 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 lies, lies, lies. There are no good aliens. If there were good aliens, you would see them on the street, working with the homeless, working with the Greenpeace or anything where they would be helping. If you're a good person, you help. If you're a bad person, you kill people. Plain and simple. Moses killed a lot of people. Oh, he wasn't allowed into the promised land. There was no such thing as a promised land in the physical world either. What? A place? A city? Well, that's a promised land. Really? What do you get promised when you get there? Promise to go to heaven? No, you determine that by what you do, your actions, and how far you unfold. And then again, everybody goes to heaven when they die. 98% go to heaven and reincarnate. There's many percent that stay ghosts and spirits here because they don't even have the ability to leave this realm. People, you're fed lies and lies and lies and lies and lies. And you accept it. When are you going to wake up, people? You've got a lot to do. You want to become spiritual? Well, what's it mean? I talk about that a lot. Listen to my other shows, my spiritual shows that I do. Tina's not in that place right now. I don't blame her. The government never helped her. Science never helped her. Doctors don't help her. She's in the hospital like every other week. God didn't help her. God didn't protect her. Angels didn't protect her. So what should she believe in, really? Well, the other word that we hate to hear is karma. Every single person has karma that's born in this planet. And that's why they're here. But if you keep creating it, you'll never leave. Aliens can't release it or let go of it. They're playing control, playing God. And I'm sure you would realize God wouldn't want people taking its place or trying to take its place. Caroline Corey claims she could change people's DNA. Drumville Melchizedek said he met a guy who could hypnotize people and take away who they were and make them good people. Really? He said he was going to bring the crystal people out from inside the earth. Never happened, people. Galactic Confederation. Oh, there's millions of people following it. Not one of them could prove that there's an alien coming out of that whole situation. And they don't. They get together on mountaintops to be taken and all that. Never happens. And then when something happens, oh, it happened in a different dimension. You know, this is hell. This is as bad as it gets, people. But if you're not ready to face it, you're going to think you're living in. Here's the way I will program it or tell you. If you're born and stuck in a little box, and every day you talk, this is beautiful, this is great, you're in heaven. What are you going to say in 10 years from now if you kept getting fed in this little box? I'm in heaven, and I'm eating, and I'm happy. Because you don't know better. If you don't die or have a death experience, well, I meant to say a death experience, you're not going to understand anything outside of this realm. You can hear it, believe it, and dream it, but it won't be real until you experience it. I had 5 death experiences. All right. When you leave the body and prove it to yourself, it's really important. Then you realize you're not the body that you think you are. You're much greater than that. Well, nobody's better. You're better if you're aware of who you are than not being aware of who you are. You could be a stone just staying there for the rest of your life, or a tree stuck in the ground. Imagine walking around and being able to do something. Big difference. But the things you need to learn to do are not on planet Earth. Grow plants and make seeds grow into something else and clone things. That's not spiritual. Aliens are not spiritual. They never taught us anything spiritual. Jesus was not an alien. And people, whether you realize it or not, love did not exist until 2020 years ago. Before that, there was no such word as love, people. Marriage didn't say, I love you. You're my slave. The man always said to the woman, you're my slave for the rest of our lives. And that's the way it always went down. All through history, people. Women were slaves. When slaves were freed, and so were the women to a degree. People don't want to hear that. People rather hear lies. The Constitution's the most evil thing that man has created in the United States. People don't understand that either. And that makes me sick, because the Constitution was created by rich people for rich people while they killed all the native people. And if you think that's right in any way, why do you think people were allowed to carry guns, people? They got paid for every male, woman, or child scalp that they brought. Different prices for each one, but they got paid for every scalp they brought in. So the more people many people killed native people to make money. So again, they were allowed to have guns. What happened when the cowboy era came? It lasted about 70 years. 70. And they realized that wasn't going to work. Let everybody shoot each other. No. So where are we going to go? Back to that day? And think it's right? Nobody should have a gun. You get caught with a gun, you get 25 years in jail, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. You'll see how fast guns disappear. Anybody caught with a gun, oh, well, I'm a gun carrier. I like carrying a gun. Yeah, well, for what? To shoot somebody if they come near you? And you assume that they're going to attack you, hurt you, whatever? How many people get shot falsely? How many kids get shot because somebody trying to shoot somebody else? All the things that it's bad about. There's nothing good about a gun. Death is not a good thing when you kill somebody. It's the worst karma you can create. When you join the Army, join the Marines, join the Navy, and you kill people, You're creating your own karma. You're killing people because somebody else told you to do it. You're not listening to spiritual laws. You're not following spiritual laws. People, we're in a sad place. But are you ready to face it? Are you going to give in to it? Are you going to work with it? Look, I can go on, but it's going to be the end of the year for me. I got to get ready for tomorrow. Nightmare, the worst nightmare I had for the past 20 years, probably. Dealing with my teeth and no teeth and all that. So uh, we're going to be back. Tina and I will be back in the new year. Like I said, we'll be bringing guests on. We'll have a lot more going on. Her book's becoming really famous. It's being sold around the world right now. It took her 2 years, and I made her get it out. But she tried 5 times. 4 times companies wouldn't print it for her. But it's out. That's the picture you see on the beginning of the show. But I hope you get something out of this show. And I'm open to challenge any single person that claims to be a spiritual master, teacher, whatever they want to claim they are, about their truth, what they know about God, why they're here, and what is their mission. Your only mission, people, is to get out of here, not to stay here. And that's a fact. Getting away from karma is the only thing that's important in your life, because then you become your true self and you can become soul and aware and go into the higher realms, and they get better. Then you understand bliss and happiness and all those words. But you're not one with everything. There's no reason to be. If we were all one with everything, we wouldn't have to come down here and do this dopey little game in hell. We wouldn't have created a hell. We would have realized that this is useless, so let's get rid of it. You move forward. Soul moves forward constantly when it's on a spiritual path. It doesn't move backwards. Mankind moves backwards every time they come in. Oh, I'm going to kill this guy, and they kill him. Guess what? They'll be here another 10 years. Lifetimes, I mean. Well, people, it's getting close to closing time for me. I can go on. But people don't like to stick around too long anyway. So I hope you got something out of today. I'm sorry about the beginning. Sorry about what's going on today. I was supposed to do the show this morning. Oh, everything was screwed up today. But my show will be back on. I just got a letter from YouTube. They're giving me all my rights back to YouTube. I had to send my driver's license. It's getting bad, people. They want to know everything about you, everything you do, say, and breathe, and eat, and whatever. And it's going to get worse. Promise you. The next 2 years are going to be hell. Next 5 years are going to be even worse. And in 7 years, you're not going to want to know anything. All right, people. Hope you search out what you want in your life. Don't stop until you get it. Look for the truth always. Don't accept the junk, the garbage, the false, the lies. People, the truth is out there. You got to find it, but a lot of it's inside you, and it's a lot easier to find it inside yourself than out there with other people. I mean, you might need a master teacher to help you get on a path, to understand the right way to start a path, but they're not going to be able to take you to the end of it. No master can. That's where you become into play. So with that, people, peace, love, compassion, truth, happiness, whatever you think you want in your life, don't stop until you get it. Make sure it's what you really need. Till next time, you heard it here first. I'm a rebel, hardcore, and I'm challenging the Pope, the Dalai Lama, Deepak Chopra, Eckhart Tolle, Oprah, anytime, anywhere. My show, theirs, offline even, but they won't. They can't give up their ego and their program and their money. Deepak Chopra is one of the richest medicine people in the United States right now. Claiming to be spiritual. Teaching Buddhist teachings at some twisted level. All right, that's what happens when you become rich. Money corrupts the mind. I live with 2 millionaire families and I know all about it. Till next time, Tommy Hawksblood here. I am a reverend. I could become a preacher. I almost was. Decided not to go that way either. Too many things are going down every which way. I don't want to be responsible for people. I want to give them the truth. They can do whatever they want with it. Next time.